Alright, everyone, we're back at it again.
白
The sound of the sliding screen feels distant. My mind blanks out. Why was I so angry? Why was I so sad? Her eyes shake as if about to cry. Her gorgeous neck and slender shoulders. Her golden hair reflects the moonlight just like when we first met. I'm embracing her when I notice. I embrace her so hard that I could break her, but she doesn't resist. It's different from that night. I didn't feel like this back then. What a ridiculous story. I wanted to become a superhero, but I never fell in love with anyone, nor was I ever unwilling to let go of anyone.
Saber.
It feels like she'd disappear if I don't keep holding her. I don't know how long I've held her, but I finally figure out that she won't disappear and loosen up.
白突然に何をこれは一体どういうことですかこんなことをされても私は
She moves slightly in my arms. Her lips tremble and try to say something, but... I close them with a soft touch. Her body is slightly trembling. I'm staring at Saber, but I'm not seeing anything. In its place, my lips feel Saber's kindness. Our lips part. Saber's hand on my chest pushes us apart a bit.
白今の口づけは
Does she want to say it's a mistake? She looks up at me with a face about to cry.
間違いなんかじゃない。何度だって言うぞ。セイバーが好きで、このまま話すことなんてできない。それが嫌なら言ってくれ。俺とはマスターとサーバントの関係に過ぎないと断言して否定してくれていい。
卑怯なそのようなことを口にしろというのですかあなたは。
ああ、セイバーがはっきり言わない限りもう我慢しないからな。セイバーが拒まないんなら俺はやりたいようにやるだけだ。
Even if it would make her temporarily forget her determination to be the king. A long silence. I keep holding her and feel her softness. She's still tense, not wanting to be embraced. All we hear are our breaths and the beating of our hearts. How many times did our hearts beat? Saber slightly puts more power into the hand on my chest.
あなたの気持ちには応えられない。あなたがその正しさを変えられないように、私にも変えられないものがある。できるのは、せめて許されるとしたら、それは。
Her pause aches my heart. She bites her lip, trembles, and says this as if to make a confession that this night is unforgivable. But still, her unresisting body and her wavering eyes tell me that. Only this one night. She wants to stay like this until the night ends.
セイバー、俺は
I raise my hand to embrace her again. But
宝具を使いましたから。白から力をもらわないと私は戦えません。
her quiet voice stops me. I can't say anything. That reason is her best absolution and her biggest modest wish.
ああ、そうだったな。けど、ちゃんと動いてるのか、あれ。
はい。今でも白からの供給は続いています。ですから、回復するためには
Be close to each other like this. That's the limit. This is the distance between us. A girl bound by her oath and myself who cannot destroy her oath. Saber moves within my arms. At the same time, the feverish heat in my body returned. My arms panic at her warmth. I'm painfully aware of her softness and slenderness. I'm ashamed of her panicking. Saber's cheeks are red as well, and she looks embarrassed.
ですのでシロ、今晩は共にあなたと眠らせてください。ケンとサヤは共にあればその力を取り戻しやすい。それにあの儀式と同じようにより心身を近づければ。
I nod back. Happiness overwhelms my embarrassment. I'm gonna be with Saber until morning. We can't touch each other anymore, but we can still be close using our hearts.
よかった。では、シロ、今夜は私が支度をしますので、先に部屋に戻っていただけませんか。
Saber stands. I'm reluctant to let her go, but I can't be like this forever. I head to the sliding screen. I turn back to look at Saber as I close the screen. With her hands at her collar, Saber shyly returns my gaze. It feels like I'm doing something impure, so I quickly close it. For some reason, I sit Japanese style on the futon as I wait. I'm gonna be sleeping together with Saber. Just the thought of it causes me to dance inside my head. This is to help Saber and also grant her small wish. Saber may be able to smile someday if we pile up each small wishes. But the battle is nearing its end. Will we have enough time?
失礼します。シロ。
The screen opens. I shake the depressing thought from my mind and welcome Saber. I turn around and see. I quietly swallow my breath. Her white figure shows up in the darkness. With that, my agitation disappears. It's probably because she's too beautiful. My agitated mind comes to its senses and clears up.
おかしいでしょうか、この格好は。
いや、そんなことない。ただ眩しくて困ったんだ、きっと。
I murmur strange things, such as how troubling it is for a girl to be too beautiful. Saber wouldn't understand what I mean, but my mind won't move unless I say this.
そちらに行ってもよろしいですか、シロ。
ああ。
I notice for the first time how her small toes look beautiful. As Saber makes her way over, I draw back and spread the futon. I realized I need another pillow, but it's too late now. Saber and I are sitting by the futon side by side. There's only one room and one futon, but Saber's with me. I have no dirty thoughts, but my face is burning and I can't even sneak a glance at Saber.
お先にどうぞ、シロ。
いや、セイバーこそ先に。
No, we'll make no progress like this. I slip under the futon and then make a space for Saber. I try to give the pillow to her, but she quietly pushes it back towards me.
これはシロに。私はその腕を枕にさせてください。
She murmurs such a thing. Saber is in my arms and is surprisingly calm. I'm not hugging her, but rather, she has settled in there. Sword in sheath. I recall Saber's words. Saber's about to fall asleep using my arm as her pillow, and she looks like a beautiful sword in its sheath. Her warmth and her faint smell calms me down instead of exciting me. It seemed unthinkable that I was ever worried about falling asleep with Saber. Saber holds out her hand. I take her hand under the futon and clasp it. We quietly fall asleep. But before that,
セイバー。
I call out to the girl laying beside me. I want to ask her in the end, to hear her reply to my question.
感じますか、シロ。これなら朝までには魔力の補充ができる。これで明日からあなたのサーバントとして戦えます。
セイバ
今はそれだけです、シロ。私の役割はあなたの身を守りきり、 聖杯を手にすることだけです。
それは
そうでしょう、シロ。この戦いを終わらせるために戦うと決めたのだから。
That's something I cannot argue against. If I want to do something about our problem, I have to end this war beforehand. First of all, I can't protect Saber unless we defeat that man who's after her. But, do we have a way to defeat that King of Heroes? We grow quiet and stare at the darkness. How long were we like that? My tired body wants to take a rest and my eyes start to close. But our clasped hands are warm.
セイバー。
はい。考えるのは明日にしましょう、シロ。明日になれば良い案が浮かぶかもしれませんし。それに。
I would like to sleep like this for now. She says so while gently clasping my hand.
そうだな。俺もそうしたかった。
ええ。おやすみなさい、シロ。目を覚ましたらまたいつもの私たちに戻りましょう。
I close my eyes, but her close to me. My last vision of Saber sees her smiling warmly. I don't care if that was just for this night. Right now, her hand is warm. That's more than enough for me right now as I fall into a comfortable, can't read today, into a comfortable sleep. We approached the end of this battle, without knowing if we would be able to keep our hands connected even after everything is over. Utopia, Day 15. When I wake up, the sun is already way up. The sunlight coming in from outside is faint and the room is dim. I feel like it's still last night and shake my head violently.
外は曇りか。道理で目が覚めないはずだ。
It seems my sleep-deprived body caught up on sleep, taking advantage of the darkness of the room. It seems it's already past 1 o'clock. Oversleeping this much can't just be called sleeping in.
セイバー、起きてるか？
There's no answer. Saber sleeping next to me, slightly curled. I wake up when I'm not sleepy anymore, but Saber has to recover her magical energy. Considering how long she slept before, she probably won't wake up until dinner. I leave the room, trying not to wake Saber up. There's no need to wake her up right now. The contest begins at night. I don't think Lancer or Gilgamesh will appear during the day. So I have to come up with a plan. Putting Lancer aside, Gilgamesh will certainly come again tonight. I don't even need to think about it considering his personality and the murderous intent he showed last night. But what should I do? He has an infinite supply of noble phantasms, and one of them even exceeds Saber's Excalibur. Berserker was a difficult enemy to defeat, but we still could fight him even though we were inferior. We could look for a chance for our comeback even when he was pushing us back. But he's different. He wouldn't even be a fight right now. If he uses that noble phantasm called Ea, we will all die.
手を考えないと。日没まで時間がない。
There's no solution if I think on my own. If Saber, Tosaka, and I can't think of a plan, then...
教会。監督役であるあいつなら何か。
He might know a way to overcome the situation. King of Heroes Gilgamesh. Kotomi Nakire said that he would find some measure against the survivor of the last Holy Grail War. We can't find a countermeasure, but that priest might have already come up with a plan. I go up the hill. The sky is filled with gray clouds. The church is the only thing at the top of the hill. There's no one in sight, not even the sound of birds. Is it because of the dark sky? It looks more ominous than holy. Metaphorically, it feels like a gallows. Going up the long hill through the large courtyard, prosecuted before God and falling into hell.
なんだ。例え話になってないな、それ。
From the beginning, a church is a place where people die. A hospital is a place where they try to prolong life, but at the same time, it is also a place where people face death. A church is the same. In those terms, no place has more deaths than here. The wind is cold. Fastening my collar, I go up the stairs to the church. Why do you always go alone, dude?
琴峰、話があってきた。
I entered the chapel. There's no one in here either.
琴峰、
Is he in the back again? Walking between the chairs, I walk to the altar. A dry sound echoes through the chapel. It must be designed for echoes as one person's footsteps fill the room.
琴峰、いないのか。
I call out in a soft voice. It's certainly strange. I should be calling out in a loud voice if I'm calling for someone. I know he's somewhere in the back, so I should be calling out in a loud voice. But I advance, keeping my voice quiet, my footsteps quiet, and suppressing my presence. Is it because the chapel is so magnificent? I feel like as soon as I reveal my presence, something will surround me and cut my head off for disgracing God or something. I pass through the chapel and get out into the courtyard.
確か琴峰の部屋は。
I advance with quiet footsteps. The church is complicated and I don't know where Kotomina's room is. My memory is vague, so I know I won't be able to get there. Something. I control my breathing. My throat is dry and it's hard to breathe. Why? Even though the hallway is cool, sweat forms on my brow. I stop calling out and examine the surroundings with all my senses. Do I have such? I don't know why. Why am I walking silently? Why my heart's beating so fast? Why? An ominous feeling in this place. The same words repeat in my head. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Kotomina isn't here, so you don't have anything to do here. Go home since you're by yourself. Your decision is a mistake. Your actions are a mistake. Your chill is a mistake. Go back, go back. Go back. This isn't bad. There's nothing bad here. There's nothing here, so go home. But we don't, do we? I feel sick. I feel nauseous. At times like this, my chill is correct. My sense for danger is good enough for an amateur magus. That's why I can't stop. Suppressing my pounding heart, I look for Kotomina's room. You should listen to your senses, dude. And in that way, I run into the darkness.
地下。
I see stairs in the darkness. In a small indent between the walls, one would normally miss because the shadows is a narrow staircase. I shouldn't go down there. I'd bet money on it. Kotomina won't be down there. No one will be down there. There can't be down there. There can't be down there. There can't be says down there. There can't be down there. I shouldn't go in there. My neck stiffens. I go back home or go down the stairs. I hate when they do this to me. Alright, we're in. We're committed. I enter the darkness. It's a room made of stone. The lights aren't on, but the room itself is glowing blue as if it's a living thing.
地下の聖堂。
It might be used quite often as the temple isn't dirty with dust or mold. How deep is this? I look up the stairs I've descended. The staircase is built along the wall in an arc. I must trace out a perfect half moon as I can see the star of the stairs about 10 meters directly above me. Is it because there's no light? The arcing staircase that connects this underground and the outside world reminds me of a centipede crawling through this temple. And I notice a door. Under the stairs. The symbol in front of me. Beyond it, an entrance to darkness is open. I approach the darkness as if drawn to it. I go through what appears to be an entrance into the place. Is it damp? The floor feels slimy and it's hard to walk on. It's like the time I cleaned the swimming pool at school. The feeling that bogged moss covers the floor and the feeling that my leg would rot every time I step in it. I stop. It's because I'm scared by the nasty feeling of the floor, but more than that, because I smell an awful stench. I plug my nose in reflex. The smell isn't momentary but ongoing. It's not the smell of meat, but it's not gunpowder either. Is this formalin? The smell of medicine fills this room. My senses were numbed as soon as I came on the ground. I don't feel any chills or pressures anymore. But still, my heart beats like it's expanding to twice its size, and my hands are vermiculating like they're going to crumble into pieces. And the worst thing is, my eyes have gotten used to the darkness. The darkness fades. A drop falls somewhere. Was that a signal? The things I couldn't see before are engraved into my eyes instantly. It is a living hell that's somehow familiar. There are corpses. There are corpses. There are corpses. There are corpses. There are corpses all around me. The smell of medicine covers the smell of death. That's the cause of the dripping sound. The water is dripping into the corpses' mouths. The slightly open mouths take in the water, and it must have been like that for many years as the lips are swollen and rotten, and the jaws are decomposing on some. I tell myself that this isn't happening. I don't want to think that such a thing can happen, but I can't deceive myself. I can tell in a second, even though there are this many corpses, no one is dead in here. They're alive. These things that can only be perceived as corpses, these things that used to have human shape, are still quite alive. I remember a news story I heard somewhere. It was a story about a whale. About a guy who survived for a month after being swallowed by a whale. That huge creature has a huge digestive system to maintain its huge body. The great thing is, the creature has two of them. The first stomach is where it keeps all the fish it swallows. The next one is the one that digests all the creatures it stores. So the man who was swallowed lived for a month, being slowly melted into the lightness, warm, stinking meat, lacking in oxygen. In the stomach full of dead fish he lived for a month, as his clothes and hair melted. A month not knowing when he would be sent to the stomach. And then, some fishermen killed the whale, and when they were cutting it apart, a smooth and slimy human came out of the stomach like an alien. Yeah, it's a tragic story, but this is just as bad. Why are they alive? Every corpse is deformed and they lack too many of the human characteristics. No limbs. Those that have had them cut off. Those that have had the ants decompose, leaving only the bone. Those who are ground down in the cracks in the floor. Those who have become homes to bugs splattered on the walls. No matter how they came to be that way, they have no limbs remaining and all of them are worn out like rotten trees. I don't even need to know why. The corpses are being eaten by the coffin. I don't know how it works. It's just that the corpses are stuck to the coffin and the coffin is sucking nutrition out of the corpses. The flow of life. The coffin is sucking up magical energy. No, something close to the soul. Slowly. So not to kill the ones it leeches off, and so not as to allow them to live. The sound of the wind that sounds like sobbing. It seems like screams coming out of the corpse's mouth. Their throats have already decayed and they cannot let out voices. It has already become just an organ to keep them alive. But still the corpses are crying out. In an almost inaudible voice, they scream with all their might. It must be the pain and the fear. They continue screaming, unable to stand, losing their form and being eaten alive. I hear a sound. The coffin in front of me gasps, oozing. An eye drops off as it turns its neck towards me. But still, it stares directly at me. The swollen lips move a little. It speaks in a voice that's not even a voice. And asks me that question. I'm right on the verge of screaming. No, I can't even scream now. Where am I? It doesn't say it hurts nor does it ask for help, but it just says it doesn't understand why it's here. Is that the reason? He was like that before he realized it? He lived normally, went to sleep naturally, and was gasping here when he woke up? His limbs are already gone, sucked by that coffin, rotting away from the ends, unable to move, and he can only believe that this is just a bad dream. I might go insane. My heart might break from this scene and from this terrible spectacle. But why? Why do I recognize them? I've never seen them, but I recognize every one of the corpses. This is the first time I've seen them. They are people I shouldn't know. Oh, that's right. They did say that in the very beginning of the game when Shiro was in the hospital, that he had a choice to either be adopted by Kiritsugu or be entrusted to the church along with the others. And so this is what happened to the others. They were used as nutrients for the corpses, for the coffin, and for, I guess, the Holy Grail War. They are people unrelated to me, but why are they as if knowing me, staring at me? And I have another question. Is it some coincidence, or do the sacrifices have to meet this condition? Why are all the corpses here children at the same age? And then...
いや、よく来てくれたエミヤシロ。
Ah, crap. Suddenly, I'm tapped on the shoulder from behind as if being greeted by a friend. My body freezes at this sudden event, and I can't even turn around. But I don't even need to turn around to tell who the person behind me is. Kotomina Kire, the priest of this church, the man who made this hell. And a devil I must not meet more than anything else in this place.
全く間が悪い。そろそろお前が来る頃だと思ってな。食事の準備をしに行ったのがまずかった。そら、前回はろくなもてなしができなかっただろう。私なりに気を使ったのだが、入れ違いになってしまったか。
I can't talk. The priest's hands are heavy on my shoulders.
だが、不法侵入は感心しないな。そのようなことをすると、見なければいいものを見てしまう羽目になる。
A little late for that, good sir.
例えば、そう、お互いの関係を白紙に戻さざるを得ない真実を知ってしまうとか。
The priest's voice is more cheerful than I've ever heard it. Kotomina Kire standing behind me with his hands on my shoulders is definitely smiling. That's why I'm frightened.
どうしたエミヤシロ。話をしに来たのだろう。黙っていては意味がないぞ。拍子抜けだな。それほどこの光景は機械かね。
The priest says inhuman things in a cheerful voice. Does this man not feel anything when faced with this? I don't even need to tell him this scene is outrageous.
なんだ、それは冷たいな。お前にとっては不快でも、そんなことはないと言ってやるのが情けだろう。そもそも、彼らとお前は兄弟のようなものだ。お前がそのような態度では、彼らも救われないと思うのだが。
Just now, what did this man say?
お前、今、なんて。
この死体たちとお前は仲間だったと言ったのだ。形はどうあれ、お前たちはあの地獄から生還した者たちだ。血肉のつながりはなくとも、その絆は兄弟のそれに近いと思うのだが、どうかな。
I see. That's why I thought I recognized them. This is the continuation of 10 years ago. And this place is the continuation of that hospital room. My head spins. Children who lost their homes and parents. They were supposed to be sent to an orphanage and stay there until they found someone who would adopt them. But I was adopted by Emiya Kiritsugu before that, and I did not know what happened to them afterward. I avoided thinking about it. The orphanage was the church on top of the hill, and I could have gone there anytime I wanted to. But still, I hesitated. I felt it wasn't fair for me to get adopted and then go see children who didn't get adopted. So if I was to meet them, it would be in town. We would meet accidentally, be able to talk normally, and we would be over the fire incident. I was looking forward to such a meeting, thinking that we would surely meet as it's such a small town. So why have I not met even one of them?
見ねえ。
そうだ、エミヤシロ。エミヤキリツグに引き取られていなければ、お前も彼らの一員となっていた。わかるか？お前はまたも一人だけで助かったのだ。周りの誰もが平等に死んでいくというのに、お前だけが輪を乱して生き延びた。 どうかね。自分自身大した不平等だとは思わないか。
My pulse returns. My frozen body defrosts in an instant.